Now, users of the Bitcoins are receiving conflicting messages about the future of it. Financial regulators around the world attempt to tame the volatile currency. China and France remain very wary. The U.S.-based Bank of America published a report calling it a serious competitor to the traditional financial system. Now, Christian Yo has more on this from the Toronto Stock Exchange. Hi, Christian.
Hi, Phil. Yes, more drama in the world of Bitcoin. The only certainty in Bitcoin is uncertainty. It's hard to fathom that this time last year, Bitcoin traded at $13 a coin, and now we're seeing fluctuations of $300 in the space of 2 hours. It dropped from a high of just under $1,300 at the start of Thursday to just under $1,000. Now, the reason for that, you've touched on briefly there, events in China. Now, China has been hugely instrumental in Bitcoin's recent price growth, pushing it above $1,000 per coin. So when the Central Bank of China makes an announcement on new rules over who can and can't trade Bitcoins, the whole world sits up and pays attention. As the world's largest market for Bitcoin, China is considered by many the most influential. Rampant demand from Chinese investors helped push the price of a Bitcoin past $1,000 with ease. What was once an American-dominated market, China is now firmly in the driving seat.
It's been about maybe a month or so that China's really taken over and surpassed the States and just exploding right over there right now.
Even a U.S. Senate hearing in Washington couldn't dampen Bitcoin's price as demand in China drowned out any worries in the West. In November, BTC China overtook Japan-based Mt. Gox, becoming the world's largest Bitcoin exchange.
They see this as an amazing technology that could be the future of payments, and I just think that they have a mentality where they want to get in on new technology, and they see it as a booming thing in the future, and I think that's why it's growing so fast over there.
But China's central bank has other ideas. A ban on banks trading the emerging currency sent its price down by $300 in just 2 hours.
They see it as Bitcoin not being a money, and they see it as if you want to, take the risks as an individual and treat it like an internet currency, that's fine. But they just don't want their financial institutions getting involved with Bitcoin. They don't want their payment systems getting involved with Bitcoin.
Allowing individuals in China to continue trading Bitcoins is quite a concession, but one which some say no government has any control over.
It's very difficult to stop a transaction going out through Bitcoin, and that could be something that the government is concerned with over there. They can try to say or make it illegal, but I don't think there's any way to actually, with the system the way Bitcoin is, to actually stop the transfers from happening. You'd have to shut down the internet in order to do that.
Meanwhile, we're hearing more from the US that would indicate that the traditional banks there are warming up to the idea of Bitcoin. As you said, Phil, Bank of America's report describes Bitcoin as a strong competitor to the old style of moving money. Now, if Bank of America and other US banks started to utilize Bitcoin to move money around the world, and it is faster and it is cheaper to do it with Bitcoin, then America could find itself once again in the driving seat of Bitcoin.
Christian, you can't blame those who are watching us from home thinking that, one government is saying one thing, another the government is saying another thing, whether this Bitcoin thing is for real and if it's going to stick around for a while because people are going to invest in it or buy it, and this is real money coming out of people's pockets. How do the different government policies around Bitcoin around the world, how are they different, and I guess how do they stack up to each other?
Well, the one that many had feared was the US, but the US Senate hearings last month were actually a lot more positive than many had feared. Washington is keen to tax profits made on Bitcoin, to regulate and make sure that money isn't laundered through it, and to shut down sites like Silk Road, the drugs bazaar. But they have no intention of waging a war on Bitcoin. So that was a pleasant surprise. A lot of countries, though, a lot of governments are doing a wait-and-see approach. Canada's one of them, not really making any concrete plans for Bitcoin, but it's considered quite a tolerant country for Bitcoin activity, and that's why we see innovations like the Bitcoin ATM, a world first, opening here, when in fact the machine was actually built in the US. China also was considered to have a wait-and-see mentality when it came to Bitcoin, but the policy that we heard from the People's Bank today sort of indicates possible concerns about the capital controls and the impact on the renminbi moving forward. No government, though, has shown the sort of enthusiasm for Bitcoin as Germany. You can now pay your taxes as a German in Bitcoins. It's that sort of policy that advocates of Bitcoin are excited to see and want to see more of, Phil.
What a story this has been this year. Christian Yo live for us at the Toronto Stock Exchange. Thank you very much.